religion would be kind of a systematized way of a person's or a group's, but it have to be a group's system, means of interacting with the non-empirical. But you can then see those, and again, this is not a universal phenomenon, but you sometimes see them being used because of that very quality, being used instrumentally.
I mean, religion can go both ways. It can be a force of dissent, and people everywhere have used religion to force social changes in the right direction and also in the wrong direction. Okay, so in itself, religion, like other philosophies and other models, can, it's in itself not, just because religiosity speaks the language of morality, no matter what religion you take.
Right now, the most visible and strident form of Christianity is this kind of evangelical Christianity. You adhere to this kind of arbitrary checklist of tenets, or you're out. And it's really interesting. It's fascinating, the list of tenets, because it draws its authority from the religious texts, but it very selectively chooses which ones.
Religion has also become mega funded, mega organized, and in that form, I'm not sure that it, I can see more negative than positive, whether it is the Islamic movements or the fundamental churches, or or certainly Hindu fundamentalism.
That's not the way it's always been in this country. I mean, there's been a lot of periods of time in this country when religion was a force of profound positive change. If you're not a capitalist, you're not a Christian. There's been a lot of times when it's been much different than that.
A lot of religions at their base have the ideal of social equality. A lot don't, but to the extent that any religion can have the capacity to speak about equality, I think that historically you can see all over the world.
The fact that there's a pressure to do nice stuff, I'd rather have that than if it was a pressure to be like, wearing boas and carrying around lunchboxes with a little shot of vodka in it or something like that. Not that would ever happen. That's almost nonsensical. But, are you going to get too excited about, oh my God, there's social pressure to do nice stuff? Okay.
And NGO activity often comes from a very good place, people wanting to make the world a better place. But what it does is you go into some place and you say, we'll give you this or we'll work with that, and there are a lot of buzzwords now. What we have seen, particularly in privileged institutions like this one, and particularly because of increasing NGO activity in the world in the last 20 years, often people want to make something else better far away, and they don't think about the immediate circumstances. Many of those students in India start saying, we're going to go and look at AIDS in Nigeria or whatever. And I'm saying, hello, what's wrong with you? Go back to Delhi, you know that place. Why aren't you going to see AIDS in India? Because now it's become a lot more comfortable to go somewhere else because you feel you're not responsible. It makes you feel a little good, and you can just go in and out.
Familiar with Ivan Illich? He gave a speech to Hell with Good Intentions in the 60s.
The condemnation or criticism of someone who physically moves to do something good, first of all, is a somewhat narrow definition of community. It's quite possible that I feel more affine to my tribe in Central Asia. I was inducted into a tribe in Kyrgyzstan than I do to my neighbors here. I don't. by the way.
Like the old hippies, I mean, we used to laugh at them when we were growing up because India was crawling with them. And one of them knocked at my aunt's door and said, I haven't felt hunger, so I decided, belong to a rich family here, I decided to come and explore the world so I could feel its hunger. But he was actually really badly dressed. He had no, he was hungry, he was prepared to work and, for a meal or whatever. And I kept thinking, okay, they were crazy, some of them were potheads or whatever, but it was not like this. They didn't walk around feeling privileged and elite. They didn't go to clubs and, party hard. And, now I'm seeing a different model of do-gooding. And those guys weren't even talking about doing good. We'll do a little school thing there. We'll go and paint a school. We'll go and give some blackboards. All of them are perfectly okay things. Firstly, change what is inequitable here.
Everything changes. And most things change with stimuli from other places. The United States has some awesome social structures that would benefit a lot of people around the world. Canada has some awesome social structures. Argentina has some, the source of an idea, a structure, is not nearly as important as the quality of the idea or the structure. But in the meantime, we can't just say we won't do stuff. So we do what we can. We do what you can.
Read about things. Spend 50% of your time reading about things that have nothing to do with you. As an intellectual exercise. So, but then act locally also. Think globally, act locally, rather than the other way around. I think sometimes we end up doing the opposite. This is something that I think increasingly this is a matter of some concern the world over. And most recently it was articulated at some great length by Arundhati Roy, in a new lecture that she gave at Princeton a few weeks ago.